Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Davenport University Information Webinar featuring our Windsor University alumni. Today we have Carrie Wainwright from Davenport University, as well as Dr. Jesse Morsi, an alumni of Windsor University and Davenport University today. I'm going to go ahead and let Carrie, if you could introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Carrie Weymouth. I'm an admissions representative at Davenport, and I work specifically with med students who would like to either complete a degree if they haven't received their bachelor's yet, or to continue on and get a master's degree while you're also getting your MD.
Thank you, Carrie. And
Thank you.
Jesse, Dr. Jesse Moore.
Sure, my name is Dr. Jesse Morse. I am a graduate of both Windsor and Davenport. I'm currently finishing up my second year of residency at Creighton University in family medicine.
Thank you. So what we'll do is we'll start off with the presentation on Davenport, followed by we're going to get our insights from our alumni. And then once we get into our Q&A session at the end, all the attendees have an opportunity to ask questions. There's a question box that you should find on the right side of your screen. Please go ahead and feel free to ask any questions you have, and I'll continue to moderate that. Thank you. So Carrie, why don't we go ahead and start with your presentation, and just let me know.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I'm really excited to be able to chat with everybody today. I'm very excited about our partnership with Windsor. The slide that you're looking at right now is actually our Grand Rapids campus. A lot of people think, well, it's an online program that you offer, so it's an online school. Well, actually, we're not. We have about 9 campuses around Michigan. We were actually established in 1866, and so this year is our 150th anniversary, I guess you could say, or birthday. And so it's really exciting times. As you can see, our campus it's a small campus, but kind of big for a small campus. So we are a not-for-profit university. So when you get your if you decide to come to us and you get your degree, it will not say online on it anywhere, because you are receiving an MBA or a bachelor's degree from Davenport. Next slide, please. So we do offer degree programs. We have over 90 that are offered online. They are in business, technology, and health. All of it is, like with our health, is all really business related. So as a Windsor student, you are able to partake in any program that you would like that is offered online. Next slide, please. So a lot of med students will do our master's degree programs, usually the MBA. We have different MBA programs. First of all, kind of go out of order here, but the prerequisite MBA, a lot of students that don't come in with a business degree prior as an undergrad will have to do prerequisites, and it all really depends on what courses you have taken in your undergrad. Many med students have taken a stats class, so you would not have to take that prerequisite. I had communications. I have a communications degree, my undergrad, so I had to do all of the prereqs. And what they do is they prepare you to be able to go through the the upper level business courses, such as accounting, finance, marketing and management, and also managerial communications. That class also could possibly be waived based upon a statement of purpose. The MBA itself, if you didn't want to do a concentration after you do prerequisites, would be 30 credits in length, or we have the MBA with 39 credits, and then students get the healthcare management concentration, and that really helps you to get kind of the business side of the healthcare industry. Another program that students are able to take is the Master of Management, and that's really the personal side of business. So you're learning how to manage people. Next slide, please. Now, the admissions process is actually pretty simple. You would apply at davenport.edu, and if you are prompted to pay the application fee, you just put in free or skip past that part. I will take care of that for you. We would need your official transcripts. We would need 2 letters of professional recommendations. What's nice about that is you can use your letters that you use from med school if you have a copy of them. We would need your resume, and it's okay that, if it's more science-based, because anybody can take the MBA. And then the statement of purpose. And what that is, it's like a little essay just stating what you're going to do with the MBA, why you want to take it. It kind of gives us an insight to your writing style as well. Excuse me. And also, we would need you to complete the financial aid form, which is the FAFSA. And then also, what I would do is send you an authorization form, and then Windsor will send us your transcripts as a verification that you attend there. Next slide, please. And so financial aid, I know that's always a big question with everybody. What it is the as a master level program, students are eligible, and I can always go through this with you again, but students are usually eligible because our programs are broken down into 2 sessions per semester. So you have a 7-week session the first half of the semester, and then a 7-week session the second half. If you took only one class, say session 1, and you did not take one session 2, you should be eligible for about $8,500 in federal student loans, and these are all at a grad level unsubsidized. If you take one the first 7 weeks, and then you take one the second 7 weeks, then you should be eligible for approximately $10,250. Now, if when you take 2 classes, one each session, if you are able to get the Grad Plus loan, that could bump you up to $16,000. Grad Plus loan is a little, I don't want to say harder to get, but they do check your credit, and many times they want a cosigner, so it's not as automatic as the federal financial aid. And what's nice too is that you will have a counselor that you can talk to whenever you need or have any questions about the financial aid. Now, with financial aid, with tuition is, for the graduate programs is $7.29 per credit hour. However, as a Windsor student, we just got the okay to where you would be, you are eligible for a 30% tuition discount. So you would not be paying the $7.29 per credit hour. So now if you do need to complete an undergrad, you would still receive that 30% tuition discount. Undergrad tuition is $6.79, I believe, per credit hour, and so again, you would receive that 30%. Financial aid is done a little bit differently. It is based upon your FAFSA. So it would be based upon the income that you made, and depending on how old you are, and how many credits you have previously, and also that is where you may be eligible for some grants. So that one all really is based upon your FAFSA. Next slide, please. So once you've been accepted, what's really nice is that then you are going to be with a designated advisor. Right now, your advisor would be Jackie Davila, who is phenomenal. You would be with her the entire time that you are at the university. And so, again, you get that one-on-one support, just like you do with me in admissions, with financial aid. You're not a number at Davenport, which is really nice. You do get that one-on-one support. Also, we do offer full year scheduling, so you can see what you're going to be taking a year out. And if you find that one of your semesters is going to be a little rough, or you have your step 1 you need to get ready for, and you don't feel you can take a class, then it gives you enough time to where you can kind of see how it can be all played out. And what's nice is advising understands what you guys are, going to school for. So they are very open and they're very accommodating for the student. And of course, we are very graduation focused. Next slide, please. Another really fun, cool aspect or area that we have is our career services. Once you are a student at Davenport, you have free lifelong services. So, say 30, years down the road, you need help with anything career-wise, they are there for you. And they will do everything from looking at your resume to doing mock interviews, even over like a webinar style. So anything online. They are always, always very accommodating for our students. Next slide, please. So definitely, if you're interested, there is my email address. I check it all the time. I'm always on during the weekends. So, and I will always answer you. Any questions that you have that even when you're done here, if you think of them afterwards, please drop me an email. I'm more than happy to answer any questions at all that you have. And our next best start date would be September 6th. We actually have one starting Friday. It'll be a little hard to get all your information in. But we do offer the next start date on September 6th. And so there's plenty of time. If that is something that you're interested in, I'd love to chat with you. So thank you very much. I commend what you guys are all doing. I think it's very awesome. And I know how hard you all work. So again, any questions, please let me know. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Carrie. And I'll just add that Davenport University, having this affiliation with them officially, has provided a tremendous amount of resources for the students, including the increase in the tuition discount, which has been wonderful help for a lot of the students. I just want to also add, you could certainly reach out to me, Afroz Hafeez. My email is afroz@windsor.edu. If you have any questions, I'm an alumni of Davenport as well. So if you have questions such as how many courses you should be taking per medical semester, or which courses might be a little more demanding than others, we could certainly plan that out. Hoping to work with Davenport a little closer on that as well. Next up is Dr. Jesse Morsey, our alumni from both institutions, and he could provide his experiences and feedback about attaining his MBA degree, and then we'll go into question and answers. Jesse?
Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. I started probably my second year of med school, maybe. And I got my undergraduate degree in biology at FAU in South Florida, so I didn't have any business degrees at all, business classes at all. So I actually had to do probably 4 or 5 classes in order before I could actually start the MBA program. So I did that, I think right after I was finished taking step 1, and then while I was starting my rotations, and then throughout all of my rotations, after I would get home from the hospital, I would go do my classes at home. And usually 1 is doable a semester. 2 can be a little tricky depending on your schedule and how busy the rotation is that you're on. But I feel for the most part that the MBA has actually helped me appreciate the business aspect of medicine. I feel that that healthcare is just a big business, unfortunately, and my final project was kind of reviewing how to get into residency from a kind of primary care perspective and what the people needed versus what the residency programs were trying to appreciate and let people in, as well as how much insurance played a role in actually getting into residency. And most people don't know that Medicare and Medicaid actually pay for the residency spots. So, and those spots have not changed in I think at least 10 years. So, if there's no people going to the hospital, then they won't pay for the residency spots. Um, so I thought that was a little fascinating, and just the connection between um, a lot of the business aspects and then what you actually see in the day-to-day life as a physician. I'm personally just about to start my third year this upcoming week uh, in family medicine at Creighton in Omaha, and I'd say probably several times every day I use some aspect of my MBA degree. Most of the time I don't really think about it. It's just kind of knowledge I've accumulated. A lot of the times you don't think about where you learned it, but it helps you make a better decision or make, talk to a patient kind of in a different perspective. Uh, because you always want to be realistic with them and sympathize with them, whether it's from a financial point of view, uh, because healthcare is very expensive, um, and because it can be challenging to get meds, get healthcare costs at reasonable, and a lot of people try to avoid even coming to the hospital, coming to the ER, coming to a clinic, just because they know that the bill is going to be insane. A lot of people are scared of that bill, so they'd rather self-medicate or not medicate, which then ends up hurting them again in the long run. I speak a lot of the times to the staff and to my fellow residents and my attendings about whether a specific patient should be on a specific unit or floor, and if that cost is justified. To give you an idea, someone in the ICU is on average is about $10,000 to $11,000 a day, and whereas someone on one of the step down units, which is the next less acute floor, is about $3,000 to $3,500 a day. So that's a huge difference. And at the end of the day, Medicare and Medicaid makes up probably a significant portion of patients. And if you always just want to keep them in ICU, a lot of times it's not justified and won't get paid for. All the time I have social workers and case managers calling me saying, is it okay for this patient to be sent to a different floor? And it's not because of the medicine aspect of it, it's because of the financial aspect of it, the business aspect of it. Because they're like, their insurance is not going to pay for this floor, or a lot of the times they even will deny their admission, or they'll change their admission status from actual admission to what we call observation, which financially is a big difference. So that affects how we have to practice medicine, unfortunately, because of that. Certain places people have to be in the hospital for a certain amount of days before they'll be accepted to rehab facilities or nursing homes, and you practice medicine differently depending on, unfortunately, depending on how the billing and situation like that is in each state or each hospital, the VA versus public versus a private institution. You'll see different changes because of the business part of it, and getting the MBA in addition to my MD has helped me appreciate kind of all of that.
Thank you, Jesse. We really appreciate you coming on for this webinar and reaching out to the students so they have a little bit of a better understanding about the value of getting an MBA, as well as any insights into your residency program. What we'll do is we'll open up the questions now. So if all the attendees could type in their questions, there should be a type of chat box open on your screen. Please go ahead and type those questions in, and we'll gradually start taking them.
One quick thing, Jesse, I just realized you and I graduated with our MBAs at the same time. We were in the same class.
Yes, when you were talking about the advisors, I remember bugging her, as I like to call it, often,
Did
actually.
you have
Uh,
Jackie?
I, to be honest with you, I don't remember the names, but I probably have her in my email somewhere. Um, I just remember her being very responsive and very helpful, whether it was a class or trying to get in a class or um, which classes to take and when, or how I should approach uh, which scheduling wise. Some hospital rotations are a little crazier than others, and sometimes juggling one or the other can be challenging. Which courses are a little easier to join together because maybe they're very similar, or which ones should be isolated and taken by themselves because they're a little more complex, and which ones you should take during a later medical rotation versus some of the ones where you're able to juggle with a heavy rotation and still be able to do well in the class. I mean, you obviously want to be able to learn, but you also want to do well in the class. You just don't want to, at least in my opinion, barely pass.
And what's nice too with our program is, say, for me I took a semester off. I went both sessions, and it took me about 3 years. If you have, say, step one coming up, or you have a particularly difficult semester and you're just like, I don't feel comfortable doing both, you do have 6 years to complete the program. So it's not something that once you start, you're like, oh, I've got to, barrel through no matter what. You can take some time. Financial aid wise, you just don't want to take 6 months or over because then you have to start paying it back. But you do have that 6 years to complete the program.
Yeah, I would definitely say that financially, the financial aid was very helpful. Obviously, we're not working, or if you are, I'm impressed, in med school. And being able to juggle both tuitions without any sort of assistance would be very challenging. Um, and now the fact that I'm done, I don't think my tuition is actually, payment, how much I have to pay back loan wise, is actually that high compared to even say my wife who didn't get an MBA and also got an MD. I think she actually has more because her med school was more expensive. But a lot of American grads have significantly more because of how much they pay. So don't be afraid to enhance your learning just because of the potential to have another loan. They're really starting to do a lot of things with um, loan repayments. One of my colleagues just a couple weeks ago signed her letter of intent for next year and for a local family medicine physician, and I think they already paid or are willing to pay up to 100,000 in loan repayments. Just wipe it clean, just to make sure that she signs there and is willing to take care of that patient population. So don't let money be a hindrance or something to block you from getting that business point of view.
Absolutely. Thank you. Um, for a question that came in is, I guess this is more for you, Carrie. Are we eligible for the MBA program if we have already graduated from Windsor with an MD, but do not have any prior bachelor's degree?
Yes. Because you have an MD that is higher than an MBA, since it's does that make sense? It's like the degree, next degree above, you know what I mean? It's a professional degree. When you kind of look at degrees, MBA falls under MD. So yes, you can do the MBA. We would just need your official transcripts from Windsor showing that you have your MD and the date that it was conferred and your GPA. But yes, you can definitely do that. And we actually have many students who do.
Great.
And you are welcome.
Thank you. Any other questions? Whether it be about Davenport, residency, any other questions? I hope everyone found their question box. Okay, next question. Is it difficult for Canadian Windsor students to attend Davenport's MBA program? Also, are loans available for us, for the Canadian students? Carrie?
For our Canadian students, if you're in the Ontario area, many students try to get OSAP. Unfortunately, you wouldn't be eligible for federal loans in the U.S. unless you're a permanent resident or have a green card, or a U.S. citizen. But a lot of students also, the Canadian students that I work with, also try for private loans, because we are usually eligible because of our status, accreditation-wise. They're usually eligible for or to try for private loans. Those, again, like the Grad Plus, are a little not trickier to get, but they are more credit based. A lot of people need co-signers. So, but those are two options. If you're in Ontario, the OSAP, or trying for private loans.
Thank you. Well, I guess the next question also goes along the line of loans. Do you have to be an American citizen to be eligible for the loans? And Carrie, aside from the federal loans, can a Canadian student get any loans from other private lines through DEP?
I think it all depends about by the bank, what type of banks you look at. Definitely look at different Canadian banks, but if you look at U.S. banks, if you Google private student loans, there's usually a list that will come up. There are like 6 or 7 banks that do private student loans. So that is one option you can try, and if they do loan to Canadian students, that's definitely an option.
Great. Excuse me one second. Okay. So the next question is, how long would the 39 credit MBA take to complete full time?
If you go full time, so that's one course the first 7 weeks, one course the second 7 weeks, all 3 semesters per year. Like if you started in the fall, we have our fall, September, and then end of October, and then classes usually end around December. Then we start again in January, and then classes begin again like early March and end in April. And then spring, summer start in May, end in June, and then the next one would start in July and go till August. It would take, I did the 39 credit. Mine was in human resources management was my concentration. I took 1 semester off. I had to take 5 prerequisites, and it took me about 3 years. I think I started end of 2009 and ended like at the end of 2012. So I believe I was done around December. And I started in September of 2009. So it takes 3 years, maybe a little bit more, but it all depends on how many prereqs you have. If you need to take them, a lot of students do waive statistics, and the management 535. The others are, like I stated before, accounting, finance, marketing and management, like a computer science course. So it could take about 3 years. But as I said, if you needed to take longer, you definitely can. And if you wanted to take extra classes, if you felt like really confident that you could do 2 in one session, you definitely can do that as well. You would just want to talk to advising on that.
Personally, I think I started in 2011 and I finished sometime in 2013, and that was while doing my MD at the same time.
Absolutely. And just for anyone who's a prospective student or currently in basic sciences that might be on the webinar today, just what I would keep in mind is, again, you could reach out to us to kind of align it with your medical school curriculum. So I would recommend not to take more than 1 to 2 classes per medical school semester. Just wanted to throw that out there. So, and there's not necessarily a rush to finish the MBA. I would say enjoy it, see how you can connect it along your studies and along any organizations you might be involved in. So that certainly helped me in professional growth as well. Just a point I wanted to mention. Next question is, can you apply for the MBA without any bachelor's degree? That's I
Unfortunately, you. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead, Carrie. Actually, that's it.
Um, well, you definitely need a completed bachelor's degree before you can apply for the MBA, but we do have bachelor programs. So if that's something that you wanted to look at, we definitely can go through the different programs. If you sent me your unofficial transcripts from your undergrad, I can go through and show you, which your best path would be, which program would best bring in your transfer credits, what best utilize your transfer credits, and what could get you a bachelor's degree, I guess you could say the fastest, which would you'd get, which program would be the best fit for your previous credits.
Okay. Any other questions? It doesn't look like we have any more coming in right now. So if you have any questions, again, you have Carrie's email. And let me go back to that slide. So they have that. Oh, excuse me. That's fine. That is Carrie's email. Contact for Davenport University if you have any further questions. If you need any guidance, certainly reach out to me at afroz@windsor.edu, afroz@windsor.edu, and I can certainly answer any further questions you have. Thank you to our alumni once again, Dr. Jesse Morsey. We are very appreciative of you coming on, taking your time out to really advise and help our students out. I'm going to ask you to finish us off with any words of wisdom for our prospective and current students.
Sure. I want to say that as far as medicine and business are concerned, neither will be going anywhere for the foreseeable future. There is probably a greater alliance than separation, and you will never, you will always have a job in medicine, but knowing how to run a clinic from a financial perspective after getting a business degree will help you become smarter and more efficient, and in the long run maybe actually make even more money. As far as getting through med school, which is always a challenge, feel free to always set yourself apart. Don't just settle for the easiest. Always strive for the best. Getting into residency is becoming increasingly difficult, and personally, after speaking with my program director after they accepted me, pursuing a master's degree after or during my med school was one of the reasons they actually accepted me, verbatim. She told me that that showed initiative and showed that I wasn't complacent. So I'm sure if she felt that way as a program director, several doctors and program directors will feel very similar. Never stop learning, in my opinion, to give you an idea of how hard it is to get into residency and how much an additional degree can help. My program, which is not specifically very difficult to get into in terms of high-profile programs, last year, this past year, they took 4,500 applications. I think they got in. we gave out 68 interviews for 8 spots. So separating yourself with an additional degree can help you in the long run.
Thank you, Jesse. And actually, an important point is you got to keep in mind the average age of a first year U.S. medical student is 25. By that time, they've finished their master's, their undergrad. Needless to say, as long as you have very good board scores, you will have a good chance. However, you could certainly look a lot more competitive and well rounded by really helping to standardize yourself with an average U.S. medical student. So, just an important note. Is that correct, Jesse? Am I right or wrong about that?
Yeah, most of my American grad fellow residents are about my age, maybe a year younger, give or take. But definitely being competitive with them because they American med schools are actually um, increasing the number of residents or med students they're taking, and therefore churning out more med students into residency. So therefore pushing international medical graduates harder to get into residency. So you have to make yourself more appealing and more competitive.
Thank you, Jesse. Again, thank you, Carrie, as well, for coming online and helping to answer questions. I encourage everyone who is interested in Davenport University to reach out to Carrie to get any questions answered. And we look forward to seeing some more alumni in the future from both institutions.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Like I said, I commend everything that you all are doing. And I know, med school can be difficult, but definitely, rewarding. And, everybody at Davenport, we're here for you all. So, we make a point of making sure that you're well taken care of. So, any questions, please drop me an email. I do answer over the weekend, so you will receive one back from me. So, again, thank you very much. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and thank you guys for having me.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.